So I ask you to just take a deep breath and just move right into your heart. Perfect opportunity to let past and future go. Just breathe deeply in and allow your awareness to settle at your center. So with each breath in, I invite you to experience that sweet energy of letting go. Of just being here now, of opening ourselves to the power of love, to God's love, to the energy of unconditional love. So I so invite you here this morning to allow yourself to experience love, to allow this love to move beyond the defenses and the excuses, to just let go. So I welcome all of you this morning into the center of your life. I welcome you into the power of love, into the experience of the divine. I especially welcome any of you who are here for the first time today. We're glad that you're with us. Just join us in this energy of letting go. So we just continue to breathe deeply in. And I invite you to just stay in this energy, and this silence, and this stillness, and this awareness of love. As Virginia Flamingo continues our meditation time this morning.
I invite you into the breath. Stratosphere of your consciousness, staying in the realm of perfection. We have a reading from Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind and Spirit. Nature demands change in order that we may advance. When the change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lips and a song in the heart.
Please join me in chanting 3 ohms.
And so it is that there is only love. Perfect and divine presence in the universe, expressing its wholeness, harmony, oneness, encompassing everything and all completely. There's only love. And I know that this love is right here and right now, ever present, always available. And I know that as we step into this presence of love, in any given moment, we are blessed. Blessed by the divine beauty, by the divine gifts, by the divine secrets, right here. And I'm so grateful for everyone that is here, for the divine secrets that we share, for the divine gifts, for the beauty, for the love. I'm grateful for our dear Reverend Kevin, bringing his presence, bringing his gifts, bringing his word and his love, for all the volunteers, for everyone that has made this sacred moment possible here at Universal Spirit Center. I know we are blessed by this divine love. I ask you to step into the presence of love and join me in saying, "And so it is."
And our house band, Frank and Don and Linda. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So good morning. I'm Reverend Kevin Busey, and I welcome you here to our center, and I especially welcome anyone who joins us today for the first time. Glad that you're with us here this morning. So after this service, if you're new here today, I'd love to meet you. And also upstairs, I wanted you to know one of our congregants, Joanne Skywatcher, has a display of photography. There's actually right there, a display of photography, so you can go check that out after our service. I snuck in before service and looked at it. It's really some awesome work, so check it out afterwards. Also, I want you to know that we have among our midst, a very brand new baby licensed minister. Sam Flynn, would you stand? Reverend Sam. United Centers has one of the most rigorous trainings for ministerial school. He's been in school for like 8-9 years for this, and just actually finished the last step on Monday, which was to pass an oral examination amongst many other thresholds and hurdles. And he did it. You did it. So we celebrate, acknowledge you, Sam, and he's just open to where Spirit may be leading him in the future. But this is a rare moment where it's the first Sunday you get to see a new minister, and he's actually sitting in a congregation. So congratulations, Reverend Sam. Congratulations. So if you were here last week or been around, you know that just came back from a 3-week backpacking trip through the Sierras. Did about 170 miles with Faraj, who's sitting right over there. Hi, Faraj. Hi. We both made 170 miles. So I'm doing the reentry thing, and it really is quite a reentry thing because I was gone for almost, all told, about a month. And, the experience of being up there was so radically different than my ordinary life and I was getting almost kind of used to it. That kind of coming back to the schedules and all of that is taking a little bit of adjustment. But what's happening, I got to tell you a couple of situations that happened to me this last week, which are really powerful. The first is just it's always good to be able to step back and kind of look at your life. That's what retreats are. It's like you can just kind of step back, if you can, step out of your life a little bit. Even maybe a simple walk on the beach could do that. And just check out your life. Like, how's it going? You know, how are you doing? Is it a life? Is it a life that you want to be living? You know, is it your life? Or have you maybe been living someone else's life? So it's just a good thing to do. And periodically I go on a retreat and take anyone who wants to go with me on a retreat to just kind of get some distance from a life. It's good to do that. So anyway, I really got that distance this time because it was so radically different, the experience being up there, than my life. You know, we carried on our back whatever it was we used, and it was pretty wild up there, pretty wild, wilderness. So I was struck in coming back, and even up there, and re-entering my life, how much I love my life. I'm living my dream. Someone asked me the other night, they said, you know, are you living the life you thought you would live? And I'm like, my life's so much better. It is so much better than I thought. I don't feel like I have a job here. I have a life. It's simply being here with you and doing what I do here is an extension of my life. And I'm just so aware of how many people in my life that I love and who love me. I'm living a remarkable life. I want to say that. That's the first thing that I'm just so grateful for that. Then the second thing is I had dinner. My talk dropped here on the floor, so just a minute, I'm going to pick it up here. Oh, he's sneaking out. No, I'm not sneaking out. I was just picking up. So I got to tell you, I had dinner with a friend who I've known her for like 38, 39 years. We grew up together, and she's the closest to a girlfriend that I've ever gotten. Kind of proud of, where she jokes about that. She thinks it's very funny, but for me, it's true. So we got together for dinner. She was in town for a wedding. And we're talking, about our life. I've probably, with the exception of immediate family, her and her brother are the ones that I've known the longest in my life, And so it's so many years. And in talking to her, I realized most of the years that I've known her, I wasn't living a great life. I wasn't living my life. I felt, and being with her and just going through the memories, I remembered how I felt about my life. And it was pretty cut off. And I don't even know that I fully knew that it was cut off, except that I just struggled. And I wasn't happy. And I think what it was I was just disconnected. I was disconnected from the flow of my life, certainly from other people. I was thinking about this when I was driving home after I had dinner with her, that my capacity for love, to either receive it or to give it, was pretty small. Saint Teresa of Avila says something like, everyone can receive love, but some receive love. Everyone could receive God's love, but some receive it as a thimble, and it fills them, and some a bucket. And I've always thought of that, and I was like a thimble, receiving that. So what I was we had dinner, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday night, so I was thinking, what's changed? I'm so aware, just because I've gotten back from my trip, so aware of how much I love my life. And the contrast, just kind of visiting a time, kind of with her through the stories, of feeling so cut off. How did I get from there to here? It just all showed up kind of in a week. How did I get there? Or more importantly, this is maybe the more important question, how do I stay here, anchored in my good life? Because what I was also aware of this week is how easily it could all slip away. So I was about a month away from the media. So I've been visiting CNN, and oh my gosh, things aren't looking so good out there, at least according to these guys. And I noticed myself, oh my God, since I was gone, the bottom of the economy is almost like dropping out. What'd you guys do while I was gone? It was more or less okay when I left, but, they're saying some really scary, and so I can feel myself just like starting to get really scared. And I don't know if any of you are like this, but where my mind goes is, oh my God, I'm going to be homeless and desolate and hungry. I'm going to have to live in the wilderness. So then this question becomes really important. How do I stay here? How do I root in a life that is connected to the flow, that is my life, that I can own it, and it's the life that I was always meant to live? You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of, how can I just root in being happy? Being happy. That's what I want to talk about this morning. I want to talk about what I do. There are 3 points. So I was reading an article this last week. It was a Hindu article by a Hindu gentleman. And one thing he says in there, is you've got to find a teacher. You've got to find a guru. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't have a guru. I guess I got to find a guru, I don't have one. We don't do gurus here. But then I realized I do have a guru. I absolutely have a guru. I have a teacher, and it is the body of teachings of science of mind and spirit, because that is exactly for me what gave me my life. It's what gave it to me. It is absolutely these principles. This, when I look at, if you do a thread, if I do a thread of my life, a timeline, it was coming to these teachings that empowered me to get a life, to anchor into a life. So I'm realizing that. So what is it specifically about these teachings? So it's 3 points I want to talk to you about this morning. The first is this. For you who are new to religious science, I'm going to give you a little philosophical education. For you who are not new, listen to this, because it's easy for us to tune it out. Oh, we've heard that, we've been there, but just stay present with it. So we're a philosophy that is called non-dualism, non-duality. That's kind of our genre of teaching. What it says is, what it doesn't say there are 2 powers struggling over the possession of your soul, or even struggling. There's not 2 powers. There's not an evil and a goodness or a God. We believe that there is a unity and a wholeness that is unfolding through creation. That there is a presence. Virginia, in the beginning of her prayers, said, and this would be Ernest Holmes' way of saying it, there is only God. There is a unity, a cohesiveness. If there weren't, we believe, there could not be any matter, because it would collapse into itself. So we don't hold to the belief that there is an angry God, or a God that holds us accountable. We believe in the power of evolution through us and through creation that is God. So maybe it's that God is a verb. It's an energy. It's an unfolding. It's a becoming. It's not, maybe not so much a noun as much as a... So if that's true, and we believe it, that's what so many philosophies these days are espousing that. That's the universal. There's always a universal and a particular. Take a deep breath, because this is where it gets kind of tough. What it means particularly is this. In your life, here's what it means. And in my life, it means no bad thing happens. Nothing bad happens. Nothing evil, nothing that shouldn't happen happens, because God is all. So everything in your life is an unfolding of this greater thing. That's simply what it means. The bad news, there's good news and bad news to that. The bad news, the good news is, no, here's the good. The good news is there's nothing to complain about. The bad news is there's nothing to complain about. The universe, because of its evolutionary impulse through you, the universe brings into your life exactly what is needed for the evolution of your soul. So think of the most difficult thing or the most evil person in your life. The hardest thing. The thing you would want to deny and run from. That is the place. That is the threshold with which divinity knocks to come through and to experience more divinity. It's the unfolding. That's what it means when we say God is all on a particular level. That's what it means. So, I'm hiking through the wilderness, right? Three weeks through the wilderness. And one of the things I keep thinking of, and I know Viraj did too. I hope I could share this, Viraj. Can I share this? How can you say no? But we talked about how nice it will be when we get a massage. Separately, but, we'll get one. We're going to, because, you're carrying these backpacks, you're using these muscles you haven't used, working our bodies out in ways that we haven't. So I'm looking forward to getting back and getting a massage, and just telling my aching muscles, we'll get a massage. So I come back and I plan one night last week, plan a massage. A few days before, really looking forward to it, get my massage. So that night, I had dinner, had it all planned out so I wouldn't be rushed, get on my motorcycle to go get a massage, and my motorcycle won't start. Now, it started before, and it started after. But at that moment, it's not starting. So I'm trying for like 5 minutes because I really wanted to drive through town in the coolness of the evening. Both before and after. It's just part of my thing. Part of the thing I wanted to do that night. So it's not working. 5 minutes. So I go in the house, grab the keys of the car, go out, driving the car to go get the massage. Behind a car that's at a red light. Light turns green, person in front of me goes. I go. As I start to go, I'm wondering, am I late? Because I spent 5 minutes marking it. She decides, not sure why, to slam on her brakes. And I slam into her. So now I'm in a fender bender. So we pull over. Nice enough lady says to me her name. I'm going to name her Julie. Now, there's a name in my life with the same name as hers, which I'm going to say Julie, that I really struggle with. It's a person in my life, and I really struggle with my person. It's a unique name. She happens to have the same name. So I'm like, I don't know if this is going to go so good. I'm going to call her Julie. So I'm like, okay, Julie, what's your phone number? We exchange phone numbers. We go off on our way, and I program her in my phone, right? So, sure enough, we call each other throughout this time of trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to handle it. And every time she rings, I see the name Julie, and I kind of get up, it's Julie. Julie's really nice, though. She's really working with me. I'm working with her. I start to really feel like, gosh, we're really kind of in a partnership around this. And really working at what's gonna be best. So at some point in our communications, I say to Julie, I say, "You're so nice." I said, "Got this person in my life, blah blah blah, and their name's Julie." And what she says to me, in almost a robotic voice, she says, I am Julie. I am from the planet Julie. She says, I have come that you may change your mind about Julie's. So that gets from me a polite little laugh. And I'm like, how bizarre for her to do that. That voice and that. And she kind of like insinuated that it's like my problem, that I needed to change my thought about Julie. So I started thinking, wow, so I'm starting to be with that. What if? Now this is what happens. So I just said, what if I change my thought about Julie? What if I think Julie is as nice? This Julie in my life is as nice as this Julie I'm just meeting. What if I just think they have the same characteristics? Partnership. So this is what I'm thinking. Honest to God, wouldn't you know, the next day I get a call from the real Julie. We have to work something out, and you know what? I get off the phone thinking, oh my God, she was so supportive. Now, in getting into this fender bender, I have to say, pretty early on, I'm like, I need to see this as an opportunity for growth and expansion. I need to see this as the divine, not something out of my realm of growth, not a bad thing that happened in my life, but somehow be open to what it is. I had no idea it would end up the way that it did. It certainly has cost me a chunk of change. But even that, to be able to trust and to let go of that and to know that I participate in the flow of the universe. So I have to say, what has been huge for me in shifting my life is to realize there's a divinity and a presence and a power that seeks through me. And everything that happens is a call to deepen in that experience. Everything. So for those of us who have been in religious science for a while, and we hear God is all, there's such a temptation to say, I know that, of course that's true. And then the next phrase, complain about something in our life. That's the danger. That's the danger of being in here too long. So that's the first thing. I want to talk about a second thing, and that happened. So many spiritual teachers say, this is a thing that's really shifted my thinking. So many spiritual teachers today say that an agitated mind creates agitation, drama, separation, conflict, struggle. An agitated mind creates. A peaceful mind creates peace, connection, unity, flow. It's almost like an agitated mind. And I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but sometimes, once in my life, I experienced where my mind was agitated, and it was almost like I had enough awareness to realize I'm looking for a fight. I'm looking for something to be wrong because I got this energy going on, and it just needs to come out somewhere. So we create it. We create it. Michael Singer, the author of the book, great book, Untethered Souls, says, what does he say? Let me find this here because it's a great line. He says, other than the problems that the mind causes, other than those problems, there are no problems. Other than the problems the mind causes, there are no problems. So when we were hiking in the mountains, I saw a lake, a pond that had such stillness, and it's becoming my image now for my mind, that I imagine my mind, the image is a pond. So imagine this, a pond that is completely, completely still, the surface of it is. So still that you don't know it's there, because it's clear. It's completely clear. And you could look and imagine that you can see every rock and fish and plant at the bottom. So mind, in its stillness, is no mind. It's gone. It vanishes in its stillness. In its perfect stillness, check this out, the mountain or the pond in the mountains reflects the trees, perfect reflection of the trees and the mountains around it. So a stilled mind simply, without interpretation or judgment or blame, reflects what is. So I've been working with that in my morning meditation, to keep my mind still, to like breathe over the top of it or through it, to let it be still, and to observe. This is the point that's really, I think, helpful, to observe when suddenly in this little pond a hurricane happens. A hurricane, a storm. Such mud and thickness that you can't see in it, through it, or what it reflects. So I just invite you to consider that your mind, hold maybe the image for your mind as that of a pond. Still, clear, see right through it, don't even know the mind exists. And observe it. When it gets cloudy or confused or stormy or conflicted, just observe it. So here is the power in it. We don't become it. We distance ourselves because we're something other than our mind. We just observe it. Don't buy into it. Don't get lost in it. Don't drown in it. Just observe it. So that's the second point that I want to talk about as a way to, I think, really anchor us in the power of our lives. So there's one more point that I want to talk about. And it has certainly been one of my biggest aspects of the journey for me. And that's what I was talking about earlier, that idea of St. Teresa talked about the thimble or the bucket. You know, how much love are we capable of? How much love are you capable of letting in? How much love are you capable of giving out? So it's our capacity for love. And truly, we're all at different sides. We're all at different abilities to that. Some of us have enormous capacities to give out, but we can't receive. Some of us can receive, but we just don't know how to give out. So it's to widen our ability to love and to be loved. To watch, observe ourselves when we start feeling like we're getting too close to someone or get scared. You go into judgment or anger. What happens to us? What happens when you start to become vulnerable? You know, we have to really watch it because we get so used to doing it we might not notice it. We have to be really aware. What do I do when I start feeling scared or threatened? You know, what is it that I do? That's, I think, the hardest part. I think the other part is simply asking the question, where can I love more? Look for opportunities to be kind, to be loving. In my neighborhood, there's a house with a car in front in the driveway. And they have a bumper sticker that I love this bumper sticker. And I keep wanting to ask the people when I wait till they come outside so I can ask them, where'd you get this bumper sticker? I don't know why I'm waiting for them to go outside, but Anyway, the bumper sticker says, evolution is the miracle. Evolution is the miracle. Ernest Holmes' definition is evolution is when you and I open ourselves to divine energy. Ernest Holmes says that is the way through us that evolution happens in our species and in the world. That there is within us an evolutionary impulse for good. Another word for that is God. There's an evolutionary impulse for good. It's either going to happen through us or around us. We are at an evolutionary stage in our process right now where it's requiring our consent. In the past, evolution has just kind of happened. But we've become so conscious as a species that it's needing our consent. Simply yes. Move through me. That which is greater. Move through me. Move as me. As this happens, we experience the miracle of our life. We experience the miracle of our life. There's a great poem I want to read, I want to conclude with, by Rumi, who talks about us being miracles. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and let your heart hear this. It's a great little poem. It's entitled, by Rumi, he's 13th century Sufi mystic, I am afraid of the daylight. That's the title of it. I am afraid of the daylight. All these miracles are about to drive me crazy. My elbows, my ears, my nose, my partner's nagging, and the sweet darkness of the night, and this blanket existence around my soul, and my heart connected to the pulse of every creature. I'm afraid of the daylight. Yesterday, God was everywhere, throwing bliss balls, planets, and their kin. I'm afraid of the daylight. Yesterday, God was everywhere, throwing bliss balls, planets, and their kin. So take a deep breath right into your heart. Feel it, allow it, invite it to expand, such that it opens and connects with every other heart, every other being. And so let's hear this morning now join in being aware of the unity, the connectedness, the oneness of all of life, of which absolutely you are a part. So consider yourself now as part of the whole, part of this awakening upon our planet, part of the presence of that which is divine. And so here now, let's just open ourselves to the miracles of our lives. Invite you to open yourself to the miracle of your life, just as you are, just as you are. No one else you have to be. Nothing else you have to do. But simply because you are. So we open ourselves now to the power of love, to that unconditional presence, to the one. And we allow ourselves to live the life that we've dreamed of.